This is NBC 10, live at Issue. Live at Issue, Sunday, April 5th. Law crisis. A major Philadelphia firm folding. Several others lay off attorneys or delay new hires. Why is this happening? What's it mean for the profession and for the region? Now on Live at Issue.
And good morning. I'm Steve Highsmith. First, thank you, Jay Wright in Villanova, for a great ride. We are proud. You should be proud of what you accomplished. Now, how much in trouble is the Philadelphia lawyer? How deep is the trouble facing the legal community? Well, in the last few months, as the recession worsened, many law firms around the nation have laid off attorneys or announced they are delaying hiring new attorneys, or in some cases have gone out of business. In Philadelphia, several firms have laid off lawyers, and one, the historic century-old firm of Wolf Block, is in the process of dissolving. This is not normal, so what should we be reading into this, and are there lessons the legal community should learn or opportunities to learn? With me now are Sadie Ledove, Chancellor of the Philadelphia Bar Association, Anthony Volpe of Volpe & Koenig, and Marty Candiello, Chief Executive Officer of Client Bridge Consultants. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
In a nutshell, how serious is this?
It is not serious. Notwithstanding the demise of Wolf Block, which is tragic on so many levels, the Philadelphia legal community is a strong community. The Bar Association, Steve, has 13,000 members. We are larger than some small cities, and our dues collection, which is indicative of how many folks are still in the community, is absolutely on pace with last year. So we're in a good space.
So if you're one of the hundreds of people laid off, the instant you're laid off, it may not sound good.
That's correct.
For you.
That is correct.
But you're saying as an institution, the legal system is fine.
That is also correct.
Is there something, but this recession, which is being blamed for what has happened here, seems to be an incomplete sentence. In other words, there seems to be an opportunity to look at how law firms are operating to see that there may be issues within the legal community that have made worse this problem or may foreshadow other problems to come. Marty, do you think that's true?
Yes, I do. I think that this is an opportunity to take a look at how law firms operate. Law firms have operated on the same model for many, many years, and I think now is the time to say, how is it that we can look at our clients, look at their needs and their service expectations, and mold our services and perhaps modify them a bit to better meet the client's needs for all of us to thrive in the future.
I want to pick up on that in a moment, but Tony, do you think that there will be more mergers in the future? Do you think that there'll be more layoffs? What's your sense?
I think layoffs, they are probably in the future just simply because there's a lot of unrest. You have a lot of students who are not being picked up. You have a lot of people who are not starting their current class of students. So the expectation is that there's going to continue to be some excess.
So you say things are fine overall for the institution, but do you expect that there'll be more layoffs?
Yes, I do. And I think that Marty's point was extremely well taken. Clients are impacted by the financial uncertainty just as law firms are. Clients want things done faster, better, cheaper, so that law firms are going to have to re-examine how they do business.
Well, let's take a look at Wolf Block. Some 290 lawyers, about 400 or so staff personnel. They're in the process of dissolving. For the record, we asked someone from Wolf Block to come on. They respectfully declined, saying it's too early in the process to do that. They obviously have some legal concerns about the process that they're going through.
Sure.
Do you think 6-9 months from now, most of those attorneys, if all of them, will be hired somewhere else?
I do. I can tell you right now that many of the other large firms around the city are in the process of absorbing the Wolf Block lawyers. It would be disingenuous of me, Steve, to say that some of the people won't find employment right away. And what I'm most concerned about as a bar leader are the younger lawyers who perhaps do not have books of business. They're going to find a harder landing pad than other lawyers, lower level partners, high level partners with books. So I have to keep my eye on the younger lawyers.
Let's talk about how these things actually play out. Generally today, are partners willing to take pay cuts?
No. No, you see firms that are laying off people because their profits per partner have fallen from 2.2 million to 1.8. And I have to take just one exception to sort of this, it's the economy. I think that the law firms have done a lot to create this. It's sort of a perfect storm for them. Consultants were always saying, well, come in and buy this book of business. So the lawyers began to treat clients like commodities. We would have a book of business, a lawyer would go someplace with a book of business. The firm may not be interested particularly in the clients that they're bringing, but they're interested in the dollars they're bringing, with the idea that they can cross-sell. And so instead of running like a business, we began to treat law as a business.
Well, it sounds to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds to me that what you're saying, or maybe leading me that I could infer, is that we almost have an AIG type situation here, a Wall Street type situation, where the rainmakers in the firms, the most successful lawyers in the firms, under threat of going somewhere else, can demand whatever they're going to get. They're going to say, I don't care what the economy is, I still want my salary, and if I don't get my salary, I'm going to go across town to somebody else who wants the business I can bring along. Is that correct, or am I wrong?
I think you're correct. If you look at the published report as to why Wolf Block was not able to get financing, the partners who had the books of business, the financial cornerstones of that firm, were not willing to step forward, according to the papers, and sign personal guarantees. And so what happened wasn't so much that they were wrong in recognizing the overall financial issue, it's that you no longer had firms that sort of married together. Individuals who began to look at things as my book as opposed to a firm client.
So in other words, firms are not so much group institutions anymore, but a collection of individuals, and they only exist together as long as those individuals are happy?
At some of the firms, Steve, I think that that's true. I think you have to look at the culture of each and every law firm. You know, we'll talk about Wolf Block. Wolf Block was courted and was courting other firm mergers. It didn't work out. They were involved with Cozen O'Connor for a while. They were involved with a firm in Florida for a while, and nothing panned out. Why don't mergers pan out? They don't pan out because the cultures don't sync up, or there are economic issues that cannot be resolved.
Well, let me ask you about that. And again, we don't have these parties here, but could it be that another firm says, look, it's easier for me to pick up the lawyers I want from that firm if that firm dissolves than to me to take all 290 or 100 lawyers from a firm and get some lawyers I don't want?
You're right on the money. You're absolutely right on the money.
When people go into business in law firms, are they business people? Are they taught in law school how to run a business?
I think not. And I think that this is an opportunity also for law schools. There are many law schools, and you've seen this reported in the papers, who are moving to a more practical legal education. Clearly, everyone has to have a sound basis in the academic and the legal case law background that teaches you to think like a lawyer. But you also need to be taught how to respond to client needs, how to give the client the legal service they need.
Do firms have rainy day funds? Do they prepare for downtimes?
Well, we do. I think some firms do.
The smaller boutique firms, mid-sized firms?
I think that helps.
How about large firms?
I think large firms, it gets harder because you have a lot of diverse interests. But I will say one thing to your point. I think that you'll see some of the larger firms are starting to bring in COOs, and for our part, we have professional administration, which years ago you did not have. So I think the firm is recognizing.
Continue this discussion and talk about what it's like being a lawyer, particularly a young lawyer today in a moment. It's time to rethink the law firm. More on that in just a moment. Stay tuned.
You're watching NBC 10 Live at Issue.